Welcome to Seven Trumpets Prepper. Guys, in this video, I'm going to go ahead and just go out on a limb. And I'm just going to go ahead and say that Donald Trump is going to win the election. Before I get too knee deep in this, because now a week from now, I may be totally wrong. And I'm going to have to take an L. But my gut usually is not wrong. And I have this gut feeling that he's going to be elected. And I'll tell you why. The thing that I want to point out is, before I get too deep into this, is 4 years ago I said that if Biden got elected, and he went into office, that things are going to be terribly bad. Now, I had no idea just how bad things was going to get. Like, I had an idea, but I didn't hit, like, rubber meet the road how bad it got. And I will look that video up, and I'll put it in the video description below so that you guys can see that I pretty much called that straight 4 years ago. So this may be, one of the first times I'm wrong about something. And like I said, that's okay. I'll take an L on it. But I'm going to tell you why I think that Trump's going to win, and win big. And also what the world's going to look like post that. So that 3-4 more years down the road, we can look back and see if Luke was right. But I would like to go ahead and go on the record and say I'd love to be dead wrong. I mean, just completely wrong. Because I was right about Biden, and I was beyond right to the point that, inflation and the stuff we're dealing with now, I'm working twice as hard to have the same measure of life I did before. So I personally and mentally and physically, emotionally, spiritually can't endure, I don't think, a double whammy of that. So I really hope that, things level off, at least for a while. But with that said, I'm going to go through and I'm just going to tell you why I feel the way I do about this, and why I feel so strongly Trump's going to win. And please keep in mind that when it comes to politics, I ascribe myself as a libertarian, because I see the Democratic Party as just absolute evil. Anybody that will murder infants in the womb is wicked people, unworthy of the kingdom, in my opinion. And I mean the kingdom of heaven. Not only this world we live in, they're just wicked people. That's just all I have to say about that. And the Republican Party, I have so many things I could say issue-wise with them that I ain't going to waste the time of this video to get into. So with that said, a week out, roughly, from Election Day, here we are on the satanic pagan holiday of Halloween, where many church houses are going to open doors to hand out candy and participate in the most high satanic holiday of the year. Well, no, wait. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they consider this one the highest. But anyway, nevertheless, here it is. And so it's roughly a week out from Election Day, just about. And I'm going to go ahead and shoot it. So here we go. Number one is going to hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. I'm going to hope that this man, when he goes in office, starts turning things back around to where there was some level of prosperity and a quality of life before, what was I going to say? Before 2019 popped off. And I was like, what is it? Why do I have two armband stats from St. Augustine, where I stayed at the resort? You have to wear that to get to the pool. I was like, why do I have two armbands today? But anyway, there was some level of peace and quality of life before that, right? And then you've got the situation where that after that, it just went completely slam smack bad, right? So I have a feeling that just based on the economy alone, right? And you got to understand, I'm on Shabbat day, I'm sitting here. I'm not trying to talk politics, but this is end times things where you're going to see a lot of stuff play out in just this short little pocket of years ahead. And it's important to understand what's surrounding these power players out here, right? So, especially while I sat at the beach the other day, I thought about this, I just couldn't get it off my mind. So that's why when I got home from Florida from working down there, that I just felt the imperativeness to share this, is that, the fact that the economy is so bad, that is, to me, the number one dictator of who stays in office and who goes when it comes to politics, just facts. And so because of how bad things is, Trump will win by a landslide. Not to mention some of these swing states like North Carolina, where they have been just absolutely destroyed and nobody's hardly done a thing for them. Let me tell you, if they can scrape, fight, climb, and get to a vote box, they're going to vote. And it's not going to be for good old Kamala Harris, I'll tell you that right now. All right? So they are definitely going to do what they got to do to get this man elected, and he'll win by a landslide, I believe. I really believe it. If you notice, all the news outlets are starting to lightly trend toward, hey, Trump's probably going to win this thing. Hey, Trump's going to win this thing. Hey, Trump's going to win this thing. I mean, I haven't seen this on CNN, okay? So, I mean, I'm just like, dang. All right, we know where we're headed with this real fast. Y'all just don't want to shoot straight with people. But the other thing is not only the landslide win, but, people want the lesser of two evils at this point. I mean, there is people that are hardcore liberals that are probably going to vote for this man just because they are so disgusted with how things are right now. I mean, when you see the hard numbers on how bad things are in this nation, to vote for a repeat of that from the same person that'd be like hiring me to come out and put your off-grid in. And I do a terrible job, just absolute terrible job. The panels won't go to the breakers. You ain't get no power to your charge system. You ain't get no power out on your inverter to go and power your home, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, listen, I'm starting a new company. Now, I know I done bad for you at the last company that I owned, but I'm starting this new one. And if you'll bill me out to come work for you again at this one, I'll get your off-grid right this time. That's literally what's going on with Kamala Harris, right? So because of that, a lot of people are done with that. They're checked out, and they know. Looking back, anybody that has sound logic or reason, they look back and they're like, well, during Trump's tenure, things were a lot better. I guess I can't stand Orange Man, but I'm gonna have to go for it. So they'll put him back in for that. Now, when we look at the lesser of two evil factor, I think this is important where it really starts, getting into like end times thought process, is because if you read that Albert Pike letter, right, and I can't remember the Italian or whoever it was written between, but it used to be, I guess, displayed in the British Museum in London, I think it was, is that long and short of it, it had the three wars described out, and the last one, dealing with, the Middle East and exhaustion, exhausting out Christianity and atheism and all this stuff, and, all the conflicts and everything to come. One of the things is that things would be brought so badly that they would be given like a savior complex kind of person, and they would deliver up. So they would make the problems, and then these is the same peoples that would deliver the solutions. And of course, you look at the Illuminatis and Freemasonry and all this stuff, and just like the situation where like Trump said he knew of Epstein, but there's multiple occurrences where you can see him where Epstein is. It troubles me, right? So, I mean, obviously, there's something wrong with these people. And their wickedness levels goes way high. I mean, we're going to see more of that come out with the P. Diddy thing over time. Is finally this deck of cards going to fall down. But when you see the savior complex thing that was like written out in the Albert Pike letters, and of course the situation in the Middle East, and just, where we're headed in this direction, I don't think people understand that, this hidden things, that the three hidden things that are creeping up, and that I'm just going to hammer on as much as possible anymore is, AI, the alien agenda, and then Islam, like the rise of Islam. Like, I literally could vomit at how deep Islam is in this country. I was driving through Florida the other day. Florida, looked off side of the road, huge Islamic temple. Like, Islam is all over the place in America. Like, there's some places in America, I didn't know this, but it's within, I think it's within 10 minutes walk of one mosque to another. Y'all don't believe me? Fact check me on that. Like, it's really did not come, I haven't paid attention to how much this is such a huge thing until, I really had an interaction with a Hebrew Israelite, that was going on about, the white man is Esau, Edomites, and all this. And I'm like, man, I have not paid attention, to Saudi Arabia and Mount Seir and, the blending of Ishmaelites with Esau and the Arabic people. And, because, Esau's the end of the world, Jacob's the beginning of the new one to come. And I'm just like, man, and don't get me wrong, people was going to argue about the blending of Edomites with Japhites and things like that and such, folks. That's such that you can spend all day arguing on that nonsense. Just keep the commandments, because here's the thing: servant, free man, whatever, New Kingdom, we're all y'all servants. So if you make it, you're going to be serving him one way or another. I'm just saying, it's just, I don't even know why some of these arguments got to take place, but it did wake me up to readdress this situation and this Albert, and like I said, if you ever read the Albert Pike letter, and the detail out of the 3 wars, the first 2 already being done, and then the Third World War, you look at it, and it also just really gives that second Esther chapter 16 vibe, woe to you Babylon, Asia, woe to you Egypt and Damascus, put on haircloth, sackcloth, beware you sons and daughters, because destruction's nigh at hand. Like, it really gives, you could feel that vibe too, right? So, I think that the man for the job, I said all that to say this, the man for the job to get that done is Trump. Kamala Harris is just completely cuckoo, right? And so you need somebody that looks the part, talks the part, acts the part. That guy fits the bill. And, you look at, him tied in with the nation state of Israel, his ties with them, stuff like that. Like, I just see this being the right square peg to go on the square hole for, war in the Middle East. Now, another thing, and which is a huge one to me, huge, is the whole AI endorsement thing, Elon Musk's endorsement, him going to give Elon Musk a place in his cabinet. Listen, that guy, Elon Musk, is not your friend. I canceled my Cybertruck order. There'd be no AI robots in my house. I ain't interested in no Cybertruck. My BMW i3 electric car, I guess, probably the only electric I ever have, unless it's for that BMW i7 or whatever, that old sports car. It's like, I think they made up to 2017. If I could ever have one of them with the, the fold-up doors, that'd be nice to drive. But I guess that's all that's going to be on Luke's agenda, because this stuff is just going to be slam-packed with creepy AI and all this nonsense, and it's troubling. I don't want no part in it. And the guy for the job to endorse AI, to help promulgate, and I know there's people that I know and love that are friends of mine that are probably just cringe watching this video right now because they're Trump supporters. But I got to tell you, like, if you want evil to come in, you've got to bring it in under a guise of good, okay? And so, once again, to fully promulgate this, to institutionalize AI, etc. He's going to, like I said, give Elon Musk a position in his cabinet. So, this is the key way to, market beast system, a lot of the crazy stuff that's in the works. This is hook, line, and sinker. And so, not only that, but, Musk is a hard pusher for the basic universal income, right? And so, now, Gen Z and millennials, they don't want to work. A lot of them still live in their mama's basement. They're not like us, like me, like a late Gen Xer, and, baby boomers and people like that. They're not built like us. They don't get up. They don't grind it out. They don't do like me and drive, 15 hours down to Central Florida, smash out work, and then get in the car and drive another 15 hours back home, rest on Shabbat, and then get up and go back down toward Atlanta the next day, work, then come back, and then go back down, actually past Atlanta later this week, work, come back. Like, they don't care, man. They don't want to come off the couch. That's not them, right? And they just want to, like, play their video games and, I guess be up on adult entertainment and never have a relationship and just, get a handout the rest of their life and just wait for mommy and daddy to pass so that they can, have all that they've got and everything. And, I'm so grateful my son ain't like that, because when my dad passed, me and dad gave my son 2/3 of the land here, and now he is working harder at it with the farm than me and my dad even worked at it. And that just makes me so happy. I feel like I have not failed as a father, and I hope I can do that same integrity into my 2 daughters to be the very best they can for their family, for their husbands one day, and hopefully and help raise their children good. But we'll see. Time tells all things, and boy, it's a different world I'm raising kids in now too. But this universal basic income, like, man, that is going to be wild, because people's going to get, I think they want to give like $10,000 a month. And Father, please forgive me talking about money on Shabbat, but I mean, like, me and Brother Russell was talking about this the other day, that, like, you know, for somebody to smash out 5-6K nowadays is equivalent to like 3K back in the day, just 4 years ago. Just 4 years ago. When I say back in the day, I mean just, 4 calendar years ago, just for those that, lived through the past insanity of these past 4 years. Worldwide, by the way, around the world, right? So, you look at handing out 10K, well, just a couple more years, that might be equivalent to handing out 3 or 4K actual value, right? So it's not like something about, woo, I'd rather just get up and go to work in the morning myself personally. So, there's that. And so I don't see no problem with that going on under his administration, because that, you and I, anybody with common sense, sound reason, logic, no. And I love how people love to make fun of me because of my voice. I love how that out of all the content I've produced over the years, it's not what I believe. It's not what I do, etc. Blah, blah. It's so much is how I speak that people get so worked up. They love to make fun of how I talk, folks. I can't help it. I am the way I am. This is the voice that was given me. So I guess just enjoy laughing at it. I don't give a flip. But the stabby jabby 2.0, we all know that we're going to see the stabby jabby go on again. The poke it, and it's going to go on again. And I don't know what that's going to look like. I mean, I didn't participate round one. Very belligerent. Matter of fact, I feel nasty and sick inside that I even put a mask on for flights. But I had already made a covenant with customers. I would show up to work with them or work for them. And I did show up, and I completed all the projects that I promised people. But I got stuck in that paradigm where I had to wear a stupid mask to fly. So I got in a situation a couple times where I had to fly, and I still hate that I even participated that much. But I was squeezed into a spot, and I'm trying to be very careful forward moving to never be squeezed in that spot again when this does take place again. So, for that to go on with ease, you want somebody in office that's going to help lull people into that, like a good salesman. And Kamala Harris is not going to sell me anything, okay? Donald Trump, he can sell you a lot, man. I mean, he can sell you a lot. I remember when I used to years ago, I watched The Apprentice. I used to look up to that guy. I was like, man, this guy has got his act together. And now, as I've gotten older and wiser with time, I see just how good a used car salesman he is, okay? And the mask has fallen for me. And I hate to say it, I voted for him the first time through, but I haven't participated in the last election, and I'm not participating in this election because my king is Yah. Okay, I will only bend my knee to the kingdom of Most High Yah and His Son Yahushua HaMashiach, right, or Yahweh Shai, however you want to say that, right? Some people say Yahushua, some say Yahweh Shai. I'm really leaning toward Yahweh Shai. The more and more time I've spent on this, going back and studying on the name, guys. But anyway, you got Stabby Jabby. That's definitely going to be in the works again. Y'all know it's coming. I think they call it X this time, right? Which is kind of creepy too when you think about that, because X marks the spot, the mark. Like there's just some weird play on words with this stuff, right? And then, of course, we move forward, we've got the mark itself. I think, in the years ahead, you're definitely going to see the full institutionalization of the mark. I've always leaned toward, especially when I left SUND Church and went to Seventh-day Adventist Church, is that, the mark would be the choice between worshiping the Father on His appointed times, His Sabbath, keeping the Shabbat, or worshiping via, Rome and Great Whore Babylon and the Man of Sin's doings. But the more I'm looking at it, I feel like it's going to be, like the mark in the head is like a mental agreement situation, right? Physical, or a mental, physical determination to worship, to follow dictates, right? And then when you look at the hand, now if you look at Paleo Hebrew, the hand was actually, the arm plus the hand. So I look at that as, works. Go get you stabby jabby so you can continue to participate in society, because, there's two ways that people got, but the people that have the seal of Yah are in the forehead. They have committed to the cause, right? And so I'm just saying, this is where my mind is moving towards, because also look at Whole Foods, right? You wave your palm across it and you pay for your groceries, and this palm pay and all this stuff, and it's getting wild out here, guys. And I'm telling you I'm not for it. I've prayed the Father would just take my life before that I would do something that would separate me from him. Like, I truly mean that. Like, before I take the mark, I hope I just go to bed and have a heart attack and die, or something like that, before I would participate in such wickedness that I could not see salvation. Like, I'm sick in my stomach right now because of where I ate so much greasy food while I was gone. And, I'm going to have to take an L for that, right? And I think to myself, I'm like, okay, if I have to die, like go to bed and die, have a heart attack, die, pass away, just like my dad recently did this year, like whatever I got to do so that I do not participate in the mark of the beast. Praise be, hallelujah, all praise be in the Master Yah. Because I don't want to participate. I don't. And when you look at the last thing I say with this is that the creeping up of Islam, and they were showing, people were posting where Islamic people were just a big, I guess, Islamic trains of people passing through, was showing in Tennessee here lately. And it's like this whole, what is it, Sharia law and the beheadings and all this stuff. And it's like, if that is the final overthrow of this country, because now you got to remember, Rome's fall, we're copying Rome's fall. And so like, all the infiltration of foreigners and everything into it, and destroy, was the Ostrogoths, the Visigoths, the Vandals, all these coming in and destroying, Rome and everything. I look at, Islam probably will be the fall of this country. And not only that, I say that too because of the BRICS thing, and I look at them now currently, that's my 10 kings I'd be looking at. And so, pretty much half of that is Islamic nations. They don't like this place, so, they'd love to burn this place with fire. So you have, an Islamic element in this country and outside this country. So there's that we can go into. But the last thing I'd say on the mark is, I've got pretty much two more things I want to say about Trump, is that when you look at the mark and you look at, someone to help promote that greatly, he's the guy for the job. I mean, absolutely 10 out of 10 to pick him, 10 out of 10 over Kamala to promote that, because she's not a good salesperson. It just all comes down to delivery, and he's the guy for the job, baby. The last things I would say is Hitler, the Hitler complex, and I'll put some links in the video description below. I've been collecting statements that he's made and people that's been around him and the things that they've said. And when you look at the rise of Hitler and you look at the rise of Trump and you look at this second time through, like, I'm telling you, if there ever was going to be a Hitler complex, you're going to see it this time through. Now, you're not going to see it right away. There's going to be this dating period, and then the mask is going to fall. And there is a lot of statements that he has made. There is a lot of people come forward and said how that he mirrors Hitler. That, like, even if half of these people are saying what they're saying is true, it's bad. Okay, and so I just leave that to the court of public opinion. Put the links to some of these articles in the video description below. And, the thing, though, is when you look at Nazi fascism and you look at that picture of, like, those workers and all these people's doing the Sig Heil, right? And the only one in the picture not doing is this one dude. I'm like, I resonate with that guy. I'm like, and it's also like the guy that stood in front of the tank, I think, in the 80s in China. Or was that Taiwan? Man, I can't remember. Anyway, long story short, like, these people, like, there's very few people built in that spirit. And I think it's why I'm so exhausted in this world and unhappy, is because my spirit just doesn't resonate with the frequency of this place anymore. Like, I want so badly to be in the kingdom because I know it will separate me from sin. It will separate me from all the things that are damaging me in this world. Like, I mean, it's a lot going on, folks. I mean, just like 5G and everything else. I mean, you don't know how much hazardous stuff is inundating our bodies every day. Like our energies are always so low all the time because, I mean, you've got to think about the wireless, the 5G, all this stuff that we're being inundated with. It's cancerous. That's not healthy to our own aura, our own vibration, energy. You know, like Tesla talked about you want to think about the secrets of the universe, think of it in energy and frequencies. And I mean, like these weather modifications, this weather warfare that's going on in our country that they're doing to put lithium mines in and everything else. I mean, folks, all this is energy and frequencies. And I wish people could see things on a lot deeper playing field than they are. You know, and I know this is like, he's just some stupid, dumb redneck. Well, you know, then just label me some stupid, dumb redneck. But at least at the end of the day, take the information I'm sharing with you and go look into it to see if it be so. Because, I mean, a lot of this is so, and it's backed up. And lastly, the last thing I'd say is I have seen content produced as of recent from people that I have interacted with personally, and I have seen content, and I haven't produced this content yet, but I'm looking more into it, but I have seen where it has been said that Trump will persecute the true Hebrew Israelites. And not only that, I would say the saints and the elect, those that choose to serve y'all. Now, when the time comes, I think that because things have degraded so bad in society, there's going to be a massive revival of Christianity. And as that will be such a good thing seen in the light of many, and you'll see people that were godless, wicked people come to righteousness. And I'm not trying to be blasphemous, just bear with me what I'm getting at. Is that there's going to be an immense persecution on people like us that keep the Father's appointed times and worship Him on His set appointed Sabbath and keep the commandments and love their neighbors theirself and fear Yah and bend the knee to Him and His Son only. Like, they gonna be some serious days ahead for folks like us. We're not welcome in that society. And I know y'all, a bunch of y'all that listen to my content and have listened to me now going into, well, I guess we're in the second decade of me being on here, is that I know y'all think I'm crazy, and that's okay. I'm not offended by that. I really ain't. But I'll tell you this. There's a lot of things that I've said through the years. This is how I'll end this video today. There's a lot of things I've said through the years. I said, this will take place, this will take place. It's not because I would say I'm some prophet or something. It's because you just see the statistics. You look at consistencies, you look at patterns, etc. And I just see a lot of this coming to pass very shortly. And the thing is why I say that Trump will be the guy to do it, because I cannot see Harris getting it done, because day one elected and half these things to be on my list, right, to be punched out. I just don't see how that she can get it done. I don't see how she can be surrounded by people that can get it done. But Trump, I can see him getting it done and surrounding himself with people to get it done, and Satan backing his play. And that is scary, folks. And I don't say these things to terrify everybody. I say these so that you can be mindful, preemptive, and warned, and get out in front of it, because you can see the changes coming. You can see the beast system being set in place. You can see the AI being set in place. You can see the rise of Islam. You can just see the Albert Pike writings and the things of the Illuminati and Freemasons. You can see all these mechanisms marching forward. The gears are driving now. Like, you can actually hash off measurable progress. And let us not forget the River Euphrates drying up, and, you know, kings of the East wanting to come west, and, you know, all these things that's going on. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot to process. But post-election day, if you ain't watched this video, or if you have watched this video, and Trump goes in office, share this video with your friends. I mean, I could be wrong. And you know what? We'll know very soon if I'm right or wrong. But I'll tell you this, if I'm right, we are in for a mess. And Harris goes in, I mean, it's going to be messy anyway. That's why I ain't even wasting my time making any content about what her tenure in office would be like. It'd just be a repeater right now, times two, even worse. But Trump, now that's going to be some fireworks. So guys, as always, till we see you again here at 7 Trump's Prepper Channel, I hope the Most High y'all broke you and keep you, make his face shine upon you, show you favor, and give you shalom, my friends. In Yahushua and I.